Hey everyone, so Miss Brown here, and I'm here for another yoga video. So today we are going to do some breath work, and it's one that some of you may have done with me before. If not, it may be new. And we're also going to get into just a tabletop pose, cat-cow, and then look at some standing poses today. So about a 30-minute practice. If you have a yoga mat, great, get it ready. And if not, find somewhere that you can clear a space out on the floor for you to do. If you're at home and you want to do this yoga practice, maybe let your family know that you're just having some time to yourself and you're trying to do a practice, or maybe you invite your family to do it along with you. For the practice today, as I said, I have my yoga mat. I always like to have a towel with me or a blanket. See, I have a small blanket. You might have maybe a beach towel or a bath towel. Check in with your family if you're at home and you're young doing that, what you can get from your family. If you don't have a yoga mat, you can certainly use your beach towel and lay it out. It kind of gives you a surface to work on. So make sure you've got a little bit of space, and we're going to sit down to start. So a little bit different. So I do like to fold up my blanket and I put it under me. So I like to sit down on it. And I sit down so those little bones on my bottom, my sit bones, are just on the edge of it. So find a nice way to sit down on your mat. And you may be cross-legged, crisscross applesauce like me, or you might have a leg in front. You might even be on your knees because that's a really comfortable way for you. So you find a really nice place for you to sit. And we're going to start with a breath. I call it 5-finger breath. I don't know if there's another proper name for it or not. So what it does is I'm taking my thumb and my finger together, this finger, and then when I'm inhaling, I'm going to move my thumb down, and as I exhale, my thumb comes up. Then I'm going to switch to my middle finger, inhaling down, exhaling up. Then my ring finger, inhale down, exhale up, and then to my baby finger, inhale down and exhale up. Okay, so when we start our breath, I'll cue you in and so you know what we're going to do. But let's get seated, get nice and comfortable. I still have quite a nice straight back. So I'm inhaling and I'm thinking about having my head over my shoulders over my hips, and both my hips nice and sitting and grounded. They can be flat on the floor, or if you're like me and you like to have your hips up a bit, you can fold a towel or a blanket or even maybe a pillow underneath you. So get comfortable. Let your hands be nice and resting on your legs. They can be up on your thighs, maybe a little bit near your knees. You can have your eyes open or you can have your eyes closed. You decide. Sometimes you may want to peek in just to see what I'm doing. You kind of decide. So what I'll do is I'm going to walk you through it 3 times together. We'll do it all together, and then I'll let you do it 3 times on your own, okay? So settle in, and then get your thumb and your pointer finger together like me. And then on your next inhale, move your thumb down. Inhale, move your thumb up your finger. Switch to your middle finger. Inhale down. Exhale up. Move to your ring finger. Inhale down. Exhale up. And then move to your baby finger. Inhale down, exhale up. Let's take 2 inhales and exhales, just normal. And then let's do it again. Thumb to pointer, inhale down, exhale up to middle finger. Inhale down, exhale up to your ring finger. Inhale down, exhale up to your baby finger. Inhale down, exhale up. And let's take 2 breaths together. And then again, bring your thumb and your pointer finger together. Inhale down, exhale up. Middle finger, inhale down, exhale up. Ring finger, inhale down, exhale up. Baby finger, inhale down. invite you to do that breath again, but I'm going to let you do it on your own this time. So think about 3 times in a row, inhaling down, exhaling up, going across all your fingers, starting again, and doing it 3 times in a row. So everybody got their thumb to their pointer finger like me? I'll get you started and then I'm going to stop. So keep going. Inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, exhale up. And now keep going on your own, and you might want to even close your eyes if they weren't closed. And finish that round, and then when you're ready, start the next. There's no rush. And then whenever you get done that last one, just return to your normal breath, whatever that may be today. And if your eyes are closed, open them up. So that breath is really nice if there's any time you're feeling stressed or you want to calm down, whether you're at home, whether you're at school, your work, wherever you might be. It's a really nice, easy breath, and it lets your body calm down and just take a little break. Okay, so today we're going to go into tabletop, and that pose, when I talk about tabletop, that means I'm on my hands and my knees. And I want to think about having my wrist stacked under my shoulder, and then I'm looking at my knee stacked under my hip, and then I'm double checking when I look back that the bottom of my legs and my feet are going all the way back from my knees. So I really want everything nicely aligned. And I know too, as I can get a little sinking thing here in my back, I really would like a little bit flatter, so I kind of engage this core, these abs muscles a little bit, and I can feel right now, and I go, yeah, that's a little bit flatter. And I'm trying to get my head to go straight out. So let's do about 3 breaths just nicely in tabletop and see how your tabletop is. So when I say a breath, that's an inhale and an exhale. And in yoga, we usually like to not do fast, speedy breaths, but sometimes when we're really active, we have to. But usually we just have a really kind of a nice, calm breath. So we're going to do cat-cow now. So I'm going to start giving you the directions. So think about the bottom of your spine where your tailbone is, and tip your tailbone down. And when you're doing that, your back is going to curl up like a cat and reach up right to the ceiling, and your head's going to drop down. Think about your chin going to your chest. Then let your tailbone curl up again, and your belly's going down to the mat, and your head's coming up, and this is the cow. So tailbone tucks down, back goes up to the ceiling, and chin to chest. Then tailbone goes up to the ceiling, belly to the mat or the floor, and head goes up. And let's do 2 more of each of those. So tailbone down, back is up to the ceiling, chin is curling into your chest, tailbone's going up as your belly comes to the mat, and your head comes up and you're looking out forward. Tailbone tucks in, back's going up to the ceiling, chin to chest, tailbone's tilting up, belly down to the floor, and head coming up. And then let's go back into tabletop. So this is always a nice place, this tabletop position. And let's push back and then bring your bottom down to your heels, and let's go into child's pose. So think about having your heels down towards your feet, and see, they may not be there, you may be a little bit up, but that's okay, no worries. And let's for now put our hands right on in front of us, and you may reach down, and maybe your head goes to the floor and your chin tucks down. into your chest. Let's take 3 breaths here. And then start to walk your hands up. Okay, from here, I'm going to bring myself up to standing. And you join me up here too. And then I'm going to come in and standing on my mat. So I am checking out my feet. I want my feet like about hip distance apart. I want both my feet really nice and parallel. That means they're even a distance apart. And my toes are pointing to you. So my toes are pointing straight forward. And those are my nice Tadasana or mountain feet. Then I want to have my head over my shoulders over my hips over my knees, and my knees over my ankles. So I'm standing really nice and straight. And if I think my head is going forward a little bit because maybe I've been playing too many video games or on my computer too much, I can take my finger and just gently push my head back just a little bit, and maybe I get a little double chin here, and that's okay because now my ears are over my shoulders. So hands right to your side, and this is our nice mountain or Tadasana. Let's do 3 inhales and exhales here. You can keep your eyes open or you can close them if you want to check your balance out. Now today we're going to try a pose, it's warrior. So we're going into warrior 2, or in yoga we use Sanskrit, it's Virabhadasana 2. So we're in Tadasana, moving to Virabhadasana 2. So I'm standing in my Tadasana, I'm going to take my one foot and I'm going to bring it straight out, and my toes are pointing to my mat, to the edge of the mat. And then I'm going to bring that back foot just back a little bit, so I've got a pretty good distance here. I'm pretty tall, so I like to have a fairly wide space here, but you want your legs nice and wide apart. And then I have my other foot at a little bit of an angle, my toes are facing in just a little bit. So kind of check down at your feet and check mine and see where you are. And then my heel is coming kind of to the middle of my foot. Then I'm going to bend my front knee, and I want to make sure my knee's not too far forward. My knee is over my ankle, my back leg straight, and my front knee is bent, and my body is facing you. So I'm kind of facing towards the side. Now I'm going to bring my arms up, and I'm bringing my arms up at shoulder height. Okay, and then I'm going to turn my head and look out over my front fingers. So this is Warrior 2 or Virabhadasana 2. So let's hold our warrior for 3 breaths. And if you notice, I'm not leaning forward. I'm trying to have my body staying right over my hips. And then releasing your arms. And now I'm going to bring my toes both facing in, but I'm going to now turn that back foot out to the other edge of my mat. So I'm reversing my feet. So I have one foot pointing straight toward the mat, my other one is my back foot's turned, and my toes are just turned in a bit. And the same thing as my heel is going down towards the inside of my foot. So check your feet out and check mine out. Then I'm going to bend my front knee, and I'm still trying to have my knee over my ankle. So my front knee is bent, my back is straight, and I'm trying to have my feet really nice and grounded on the mat. I don't want my feet lifting up. Then I'm going to bring my hands up so they're equal with my shoulders. And then I'm going to look out over my front hand, and I don't want my body leaning forward in this pose. I want to have it stacked over my hips, and now I'm in Warrior 2 or Virabhadasana 2. Let's do 3 breaths. And release your hands, and then come back in, and now I've got my toes facing to you. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my hands right on my hips, and I've got these little hip creases here, and I want to find out where that hip crease is. And I'm going to take a nice inhale breath, and I still want my body to be nice and long, but now I'm going to bend at the hip crease, and I'm going to bend down. You may be here and you've got your hands on your thighs, you've got them down on your lower legs, or you might be able to reach down at the floor. But then you check out, my legs are both straight and my feet are all on the floor. My feet aren't lifted at all, my toes aren't lifted. So here, wherever you go, and then you can relax your head. And let's take 3 breaths here. And then I'm going to bring my hands to my hips and lift my body up. And now I'm going to turn I've got my right foot, but turn one of your feet towards the edge of your mat again, like we did when we did Warrior Two, same idea. But now instead of bending my leg, I'm going to keep my front leg bent. So same thing, my feet are exactly the same way as Warrior Two. One is going sideways, and the other is, one is going towards the front of my mat, the other sideways, and coming in just a little bit. My feet are nice and planted and grounded on the mat. Okay, and I'm bringing my arms up again at shoulder height. So kind of the same but different. So now check it out, both my legs are straight. Again, I'm going to look out over my front fingers. So I'm looking out over the hand where my foot is straight out ahead. And now I'm going to start reaching. I'm going to reach forward as far as I can. And now I've got as far as I can go. And I'm going to let my hand drop down. And I'm going to bring my other hand up. And now I am in triangle. So Trikonasana. See if I said that right. So there's the Sanskrit word. And we're now in triangle pose. So my body is open up to the side. I don't want to be crunched in, and I want both of my legs to be straight. So let's take 2 or 3 breaths. And I'm going to use this top hand to pull me all the way up, and I'm going to bring my feet both facing forward. Then the other foot, I'm going to turn to the back of my mat. So my other foot is facing the edge of the mat, and my back foot is turned into just a little bit, so I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So I'm going to bring my arms up again. I'm going to look out now over my other hand, because that's my front hand, and I'm going to reach, and now I've gone as far as I possibly can. Then I'm going to reach down. You might be up here, you can be down here, you might be at the floor. But wherever you are, keep your body straight open, and both your legs are straight and both your feet are on the floor. Let's do 3 breaths. Okay, use that top hand again to pull you up, arms down. Now again, we're going to have both toes coming forward, and we forward folded from here before. We're going to do the same thing. So find your hip creases there. That's a little piece right here in the center, in the middle between your pelvis and your thighs. And have a nice upright body, and then start to fold. Remember, wherever your hands go, they can be on your thighs, your lower legs, or they might be all the way on the floor. And then let your head release wherever you are, and let's take 3 nice big breaths here. I'm just going to check my plan, friends. Alrighty. Then from here, I'm going to put my hands on my hips, bring myself up. Now look at, I'm going to heel toe my feet all the way in. And now I'm going to be back in my Tadasana or back in my mountain pose. So find your mountain, Have your head over your shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over knees, knees over ankles. Let's take a couple breaths here. And we're going to do a forward fold from here. So just like we did before, I want my body to be nice and straight. I'm going to find my hip creases here. But this time, instead of my legs being wide apart, my legs are quite narrow. So I've got my hip creases, and I want to bend right from here. So I'm going to start forward folding, start bending forward. And you might go, oh, that's good enough, so put your hands down. Or you may think, oh, no, I can go all the way down. From here, let your hands go, and let's be super loose about it. So it's a nice loose forward fold, or Uttanasana. So nice forward folding. Let your body hang. And when we're doing like really little people yoga, this is gorilla. So if that appeals to you, think about a gorilla just hanging out here. Oh, and find a place. Maybe you want to swing back and forth, or maybe you just want to stay still. So whatever feels good for you. And then widen your feet a little bit. And then bending your knees, come right down on the floor, hands down. And from there, bring your feet out. So they're just going out a little bit on a little bit of an angle. And then come down into a squat. If you fall when you're doing this, try it again, because this might take a little bit of practice. Okay, and then let's do 3 breaths here. And then from here, release your arms, put one arm behind you and the other, and let yourself come right back down to your bottom. Then from here, we're going to go into Shavasana, which is the final pose of our practice. If you have a pillow or a blanket, you can always put it down there and put it under your head, or maybe you like to have a blanket over top of you. So whatever you do, come down into Shavasana, so lay out on your mat, the floor, or whatever surface you are. Let both legs go straight out. Let your hands go beside your body. Your palms are facing up towards the ceiling. And bring your chin down a little bit more to your chest, because we don't want our chin kind of pointing up to the ceiling. We want it level with the floor. So bring your chin down. That also opens up the back of our neck for us. And close your eyes if that feels okay for you. And take some nice big breaths here. And just notice how you're breathing, and notice how your body feels. And you don't have to judge it, you don't have to make any decisions about it. And just noticing how you're feeling. And just let your body be a little bit heavy on the mat, your head and your shoulders, your hips, your heels, and let your hands and fingers relax, and let your feet and your toes. Shavasana sometimes for people is a really hard pose because they have a hard time being still and being quiet. But Shavasana is always the way we end our yoga practices. Because it just lets you think about your yoga class, your practice, and just how it made you feel, and how it made your body feel and your mind feel. And so it is really important, even if sometimes it might be hard to lay still. Now start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Maybe stretch your arms and your feet out, and then hug your knees to your chest. do 2 breaths on our side. And then use your top hand to push yourself up to your seated down here. And I'm going to sit in cross-legged, but whatever you'd like. And then in yoga, we always bring our hands into Namaskar or prayer position. I like to have my thumbs together right in my sternum. It's that bone right there in the middle of my chest, near my heart. So thank you for coming to yoga class today. And thank yourself for coming to yoga. And I want to thank you for allowing me to guide your practice today. Have a wonderful day. And we always end yoga with namaste. Namaste. Okay, everyone. Thanks for joining me. And I'm just going to walk up and shut off our video.